All right, so I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 for the past week, and I gotta tell you, this is a really good phone. And look, Z Fold 7, I think it was the star of the show, and there was a lot of coverage on that, and I, including myself, I had a lot of coverage on the Z Fold 7. But I feel like this kind of went under the radar, especially with the upgrades that you get. It's a good phone, and I've been using it for the past week, and I want to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions. So first things off is this design. I do have a case, and this one is from Thinborn, which I do love. It's minimal, it's sleek, aesthetically pleasing, but it also is MagSafe compatible, so you can wirelessly charge it, you know, using your MagSafe accessories. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, and I genuinely love Thinborn cases. I use them for pretty much all of my Android devices. They are really sleek and elegant. But nonetheless, this is slightly slimmer in design, both when folded and when unfolded, compared to its predecessor, the Z Flip 6. And I like it. You know, it has a wider inner display, which Samsung compares it to the Galaxy S25 Plus. It's 6.9-inch display, and it definitely feels more and more like a conventional smartphone. But here's where the real upgrade, if you ask me, is this cover display, a 4.1-inch. Now this right here, all these widgets, like this setup is directly from Samsung. You can get it yourself as well. But this launcher right here, the Good Lock launcher with like multi-star, you can use full-fledged apps on the cover display. And let me tell you, like, it actually does work, and it works pretty good. You know, I'm gonna kind of open up Clash of Clans here, and there's different like aspect ratios. Looks like I got to sign in again. Well, it looks like it signed me out of my other, you know, I signed in with my other phone, so I got to re-sign in, but we'll do that later on. But I got to tell you, it has been awesome playing Clash of Clans on this cover display. Is it practical? No, but it still works. Like, that's, you know, that's awesome. But nonetheless, it is a great 120 hertz, which is an upgrade from the Z Flip 6, which was a 60 hertz cover display. This is 120 hertz, and it feels really smooth, buttery smooth, if you ask me. And then you do have Now Brief, which covers up like this bottom portion, like during the morning and the evening. I actually use it. It's actually pretty useful. I do hope more third-party apps do take note, but this design has been really, really great overall. I mean, it's like Samsung went ahead and made this almost edge to edge. What else can they do to improve this cover display for next year? I don't really know. Maybe add a third camera, but that's taking up some more space. I don't know. Overall, this has become even more useful and better to use. Like with all these widgets, I get to see, you know, my battery percentage on my watch as well as my phone itself. I get to see the weather, see how many notifications I have. I have a camera shortcut button right there. I get to see the dates right here. So it really does, it has become very useful, and then being able to use these apps. But yeah, design has been really great. It's super pocketable and powerful as well. I really do like the form factor of the Z Flip. And look, Z Flip was actually my first foldable device. I got onto the folds with the OnePlus Open in 2023. So before then, I never had a fold, and my first Samsung Z Fold was Z Fold 6. So I've been using this since the Z Flip 3, the Flip lineup, and I've used every single model since. The upgrades have been awesome. Now, when we come to the software and the performance, we're getting Android 16 with One UI 8 out of the box. 7 years of software updates, which is awesome. We're getting all those really cool features that Samsung debuted with the Z Fold 7 and the Flip 7 at Galaxy Unpacked, with like Gemini AI, generative edit, and all that stuff. But we also do get Samsung DeX finally on the Flip 7, and I have yet to kind of dive into it. I do have a portable monitor, but this is something a lot of Samsung users were looking for, using Samsung DeX, getting that kind of desktop experience, that computer, PC, whatever you want to call it, experience on your like portable monitor, whatever the case may be, using your Flip. And you finally get that with the Galaxy Flip 7. But most people are not going to be using Samsung DeX, so let's talk about the performance. How has it held up in the past week? It's been really good. And even though this is running the Exynos 2500 chipset, and if you put it in Geek benchmark scores, it's definitely not going to be as powerful as the Snapdragon 8 Elite, it's tackled everything, I've thrown it at ease without any issues whatsoever. It's got 12 gigs of RAM. And I haven't seen like it being a tad bit slower than my Z Fold 7 or my S25 Ultra. It's been very good. I actually have no complaints with the Exynos chipset. Now, the big question I have is like, how well will this chip perform long term over time? That I don't know. We are going to test that out. But for right now, it has been very, very good. I don't care about, having the numbers like Geek Benchmark scores being a little bit less. As long as it tackles every single task I throw at it, and the apps you see here on my home screen and, my second screen right here, these are the apps I'm using most often on my Z Flip 7. Mainly the ones here like YouTube Studio, YouTube videos, texting through messages, as well as WhatsApp, playing games like Call of Duty and Clash of Clans, using it for TikTok, Threads, X, and all that good stuff. And it has performed without any issues whatsoever. So I'm pretty happy with the Exynos 2500 chipset as of right now in the past week. As for the cameras, it's essentially the same as last year. We're getting a dual camera setup, a 50 megapixel main and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, as well as a 10 megapixel selfie. Although you can take selfies with this 50 megapixel, and now you have a larger screen right here, so it does kind of work out. Now, Flip 7 does get improved image processing with the new Pro Visual Engine, as well as Galaxy AI. And that does help with enhancing dynamic range, the exposure, and low light detail. But honestly, like, hasn't made a huge, it's not like a huge difference where like you need to upgrade to the Flip 7 for the camera quality. No, I still think there's improvement to make these cameras better. But at this point, it's like, is camera a priority? Having like the best cameras on a Flip a priority for Samsung? I don't know. My take on folds and flips are to be ultra devices, but that's just my take. And some of you may agree, some of you may not. Again, it really comes down to a preference thing. But in general, like when I'm looking for a device, camera is not up there at the list of being the best for me. If they perform decently well and get the job done, that's fine for me, and these do just that. The battery and the charging, specifically the battery life, how has this held up? It's been pretty good. We're getting a physically larger 4,300 milliamp hour battery, the largest in any Z Flip at least. And it's up from 4,000 with the Z Flip 6, so 300 milliamp hours longer. I'm getting like 5-ish hours of screen on time, which is pretty good. And I'm not, using it like constantly. I still consider myself a heavy user because, my work does revolve around my phone. And even though I do have a business related phone, I still tend to kind of do work here. And, a lot of that work ends up being social media work. So I do end up using it here too. And then watching videos. And actually, when I'm watching, other, my favorite YouTubers, I'm kind of analyzing and listening, but in a way kind of researching what are those, videos talking about, pinpoint bullet points and things like that. I like to take note and then see if I have the same thoughts and whatnot, and maybe add something that they missed and vice versa. So it's like, yes, I am watching videos, but I'm also using it for work in a way. And then the charging speed is still 25 watts, which is like, come on, like 25 watts on a $1,100 phone versus 45 watts on a phone that's $499. Samsung, please bring faster charging. It's rumored that the S26 Ultra is going to get faster charging, which I'm finally, seriously, 60 watts I think is a sweet spot. So please at least bring 45 with the Z Flip series. I'd be happy with that, Even if it's not S26 Ultra, I'd still be pretty happy with that. Nonetheless, like if you were on the fence about the Z Flip series because of the lackluster battery life, I think you should be okay now with having a 4,300 milliamp hour battery. It's definitely going to last much better, and I can easily, I can recommend it much more easily than, its predecessors. But again, $1099 starting price. The price hasn't changed. And I'll tell you this, like in a month or two, this device is going to go on sale. So if you want to pick it up right now, go right ahead. I'll be leaving links in the description down below. But I like to tell people all the time, if you're in the market looking for a new Samsung device, wait for, a couple months, 2-3 months, maybe a month. Starting a month later, you'll start to see this device go on sale, like on Amazon or other websites, maybe even on Samsung.com. and I would pick it up at that price point. But $10.99, like if you really want to pick it up right now, it's still a good device. So just to wrap things up, this device, you know, it's being thinner, it's a little bit lighter, having this larger cover screen is great. The software and the performance has been really good despite it being an Exynos 2500 chipset, and you're getting all of like the quirks and features, software features that the Z Fold has. So that's a huge plus as well. You're getting Samsung DeX, which a lot of people wanted. We finally got it. I think Samsung really listened with their consumers for the Fold and Flip 7. The cameras are essentially the same. I haven't really noticed too much of a difference, even though there's, you know, the Pro Visual Engine stuff going on. So if cameras isn't really a priority for you, then this is going to be a good phone. But if camera is and you want more versatility, obviously makes sense. You want to pick up a Flip. The battery life is actually really good when compared to its predecessors. If you want to compare it to like the Ultras, then obviously that doesn't really make sense. You're going to get better battery life with that. But this is a phone that many people can use and it will last them an entire day. So that's really what I have to say in the past week. It has been a really good phone. I think I think this should get a lot more coverage because Samsung really did make good improvements with the Flip series. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to superman the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel out a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. Definitely be sure to check out my wallpaper pack. This one right here is called Color Blast. Links will be in the description down below, as well as this case from Thinborn. Again, it is MagSafe compatible. It's super thin, minimal, doesn't really add any bulk to the phone itself, so I really do like it. And I still have to install it, but this case also does come with a screen protector that is included, and it's not like a plastic one, it is a tempered glass, so it just goes like that essentially. And yeah, it's going to be, it's a great deal if you ask me. So I really do like Thinborn. Again, links will be in the description down below. But that's been it for me. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.